everyone, welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy and another episode of Series Sunday. Before I get too involved in this, I've got kind of a scratchy throat, so just bear with me in this video. This week I chose a Christian fiction writer. I really enjoy what he does, and you know, even if you don't like Christian fiction, you will probably like his stuff if you like fast-paced, adrenaline-rushing stories. And who I chose is Ted Dekker, and I chose his Paradise series. This is your classic good versus evil, and I love those kind of stories. And Ted Dekker writes them well. So in this one, you got Marsuvies Black, who is the one representing our evil in the town. And you got Billy and Darcy, who become majorly influenced by Marsuvies Black, and also become our antagonist in the story. And you kind of have to feel a little bit for them because they are being influenced, and it's almost like they don't realize what he's been doing to them or what they're doing, and it just escalates. And then you got Johnny, who is our protagonist, and he's got quite a fight ahead of him. And anyway, the first book that you'll read in this series is Showdown. The second one is Saint. And then the third one is Sinner. Now, I was going to skip Saint and go right to Sinner because it didn't seem to me that Saint was going to be a major part of the story. And I was wrong. You must read this in order. This is a must-do. Even though, you know, you read the synopsis, and that's where it kind of confuses you. I'm like, well, this doesn't sound anything like what's going on here. But by the time you finish the story, you realize that it has a lot to do with it. So, if you do decide to pick up this, I would have to say to read them in order. I've read articles and stuff where people have actually asked Mr. Dekker, what order should I read stuff in? And he always just says, read them in the order that you feel you want to read them in, and the stories will still make sense pretty much. I'm always a sucker for reading everything in order. I just want to read stuff in order because, you know, whether the stories carry over or not, people's lives do, like when you read detective stories and stuff. The cases may not carry over, but your detectives' lives do carry over. So I'm just always wanting to read things in order. And then we come back to Sinner, and I have to say Saint, this one was my favorite of the three. Sinner was my least favorite. And the reason for that is because we kind of strayed away from the good versus evil a little bit in this story. It was still there. There was still the big to-do at the end of the story and everything, but it kind of strayed away more from the good versus evil to the who's right and who's wrong. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it seemed like Dekker was kind of pushing, like, saying his beliefs were the right ones, and you believe this, that can't be right. And that was kind of how I felt when I read this. And it didn't take away from the story too much, because overall, as a trilogy, I enjoyed the whole thing. So it didn't sway my mind too much. It just wasn't my favorite of the three of them. So if you really like Christian fiction, and I mean, even if you don't like Christian fiction, because I don't read a lot of Christian fiction. I read Ted Dekker, and I read Frank Peretti. So even if you don't like to read a lot of Christian fiction, Ted Dekker is really, really very good. And I love his classic good versus evil stories, and I love the fast pace, the adrenaline, the terror. I mean, he's really good at writing frightening stories, and I've just not been disappointed with hardly any of his books. And maybe a couple that I really didn't enjoy. But for the most part, I love what Ted Dekker writes. So if you want to read a good trilogy, classic good versus evil, try the Paradise series by Ted Dekker. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you'll enjoy it. And I know I really enjoyed it. So check him out. And even if, you know, you don't want to start here, you can start with any of his other standalone books or whatever. But check him out. I don't think you'll be too disappointed. So there we go, guys. That's our series Sunday for this week. Paradise series by Ted Dekker. Check it out. Thanks for staying tuned, guys. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.